and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. First up, the agenda brief. Viewers, are the Gandhis in real trouble now? Has the AJL case finally come to haunt the Gandhi family? You've witnessed the political fireworks, but what's the real story behind the investigation? How did a payment of 50 lakh rupees convert into the ownership of a firm that owns properties worth nearly 5,000 crores today? We'll be breaking it all down tonight on the Newshour Agenda. Later, we will put focus on the federalism debate. How much is too much autonomy? Is the Stalin government taking it too far, and is his decision setting a dangerous precedent to appeal to a certain parochial and regionalist sentiment? Or is the centre infringing upon the rights of states? We put that focus on the 10:30 p.m. debate on the Newshour Agenda. Moving on to our top story, viewers. It appears that law is finally catching up with the Gandhis. Is the law finally catching up with the Gandhis? For the first time in this case so far, the Enforcement Directorate has directly named Congress MP Sonia Gandhi and Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi as accused in the National Herald Case. Sonia Gandhi is accused number 1 in this entire case, and Rahul Gandhi is accused number 2. But what exactly led to this investigation in the first place? We are going to try and break that down for you, viewers. Trouble began for the Congress leaders when the ED began its investigation following a 2012 court order. The allegation was that of a criminal conspiracy by officers of AJL to usurp assets worth roughly 2,000 crore rupees then. How exactly did this happen, you may ask? Well, the agency believes that public money was converted for personal use as AJL took a loan of upwards of 90 crore rupees from the All India Congress Committee. However, the right to recover this money was bought for just 50 lakh rupees by Young Indian, a firm in which a majority of the shares are held by Sonia and Rahul Gandhi. Now, in simple terms, viewers, the firm in which the Gandhis were major shareholders, that firm paid an amount of 50 lakh rupees. This amount was paid to acquire 99% of the shares of a company that owned property worth over 2,000 crore rupees back then. Today, ED sources have estimated that amount should be up to 5,000 crore rupees. So 50 lakh rupees was in a sense paid to acquire shares of a firm that owns properties worth 5,000 crore rupees today. This Gandhi-linked firm that we're talking about, 38% of the shares of this firm are held by Rahul Gandhi and 38% by Sonia Gandhi. The other 24% was held by 2 other leaders, Motilal Vora and Oscar Fernandez, 12% each. Both of them are now deceased, meaning that the only shareholders alive as of today are Rahul and Sonia Gandhi. So even if, as of now, Rahul and Sonia Gandhi only have control over 76% of the shares, that would mean the share of the Gandhis would be somewhere around 1,520 crore rupees back then itself. Imagine, viewers, 50 lakh rupees paid, properties worth 1,520 crore rupees at least comes under the control of Rahul and Sonia Gandhi. Moving further, while Enforcement Directorate is investigating this alleged scam today, the opposition is rallying behind the Congress party. They believe that the Enforcement Directorate has been made a puppet of the BJP and is hounding the opposition to serve the government's purpose. Let's break that down for you.
नेशनल हेराल्ड की जो संपत्तियां जब्त किया है बिल्कुल अवैध है और सोनिया जी और राहुल जी का नाम जो चार्जशीट में आया है वो बिल्कुल पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा है।
ये दिखा रहा है किस तरह से बदले की भावना से केंद्र की मोदी जी की सरकार काम कर रही है कि जांच एजेंसियों के माध्यम से विपक्ष की आवाज को दबाने का प्रयास हो रहा है।
इस बात से ये जरूर तय हो जाता है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी जब जब राजनीतिक रूप से कमजोर होती है तो विपक्ष के नेताओं को अपने पपेट ईडी के माध्यम से हैरेस करने की कोशिश करती है।
ये जनता का माल अपनी जेब में डाल ये करते हैं, ऐसा भ्रष्टाचार किया और कार्रवाई होती है तो अत्याचार चिल्लाते हैं, विक्टिमहुड कार्ड खेलते हैं। ये प्रोसीडिंग ही शुरू हुई कोर्ट के आदेश के ऊपर, तो इसके लिए वेंडेटा कहना, विक्टिमहुड कार्ड कहना मतलब कि क्या कोर्ट जो है वो विंडिक्टिव कार्रवाई कर रही थी?
First of all, I dismiss anyone who says that these agencies are doing something because of somebody has a grouse against them. It's not true. Look, I used to be Housing and Urban Affairs Minister for 7 years. I have dealt with some of the issues. I'm not going to comment. You should go to Khattarji for a comment on that. But what those agencies are doing is long overdue. Ab chhod do isko yaar. I mean, just because somebody has a case against him, go the vendetta against me, I'm not going to get into that.
Let's break down for you what exactly the Enforcement Directorate is alleging as far as the National Herald case is concerned. The agency believes that the All India Congress Committee orchestrated a criminal conspiracy to usurp the properties worth 2,000 crore rupees of AJL by transferring 99% of the shares in favor of Young Indian, a private company, for just 50 lakh rupees, wherein Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi together held 76% of the shares. Accused allegedly entered into an criminal conspiracy by converting the outstanding loan of 90.21 crore rupees given by AICC to AJL to 9.02 crore equity shares and transferred all these shares in favor of Young Indian for only 50 lakhs. By transferring the majority shareholding of AJL to YI, the accused effectively transferred the beneficial ownership of all properties of AJL worth thousands of crores to Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. Now, as per this investigation, Young Indian was effectively controlled by Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi since they held 76% of the shares, as we told you earlier, through what they believe was a well thought out conspiracy, and that's as far as the agencies are concerned. Young Indian, however, was incorporated under Section 25. Now, this represents a firm for charitable purposes. The agency says that there was no such charitable activity in the company, and the very fact that they were let out for rent also indicates some kind of commercial activity. There's some breaking news coming in at the moment. Congress MP and General Secretary Organization KC Venugopal has confirmed in a post on social media that the party will hold protests outside ED offices across the country tomorrow. They claim that this is to register their opposition to the politics of vendetta and intimidation. Pradeep Datta is joining us from outside the National Herald office. Pradeep, Congress making it very clear that they are not going to take this lying down low, that they are going to hit the streets in protest.
Madhav, that's really unfortunate. What kind of a precedent these political parties are trying to set? Congress, one can understand, because they have to keep their party leaders in good humor, so they'll be coming out on street. But in fact, what is the opposition doing? They're trying to rally behind both Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, not realizing that they should feel happy that at least no one is above law. If somebody has committed a mistake, because this case had been going on for long, because just only a few days back they had proceeded to take possession of many of the properties being owned by them in prime locations like Lucknow, Delhi, as well as this iconic tower like National Herald here at Bahadur Shah Zafar Marg. Because what they had been doing, they were trying to generate the crime proceedings to the tune of several hundred crores in the form of investment, in the form of advertisement, in the form of donation also. So that's one of the reasons that, because as per PMLA 2002, if the property is frozen or attached, because
well, that property where you're standing is amongst the several properties that the Enforcement Directorate very recently, just on Saturday, moved as far as attachment is concerned. And just days after that, now we have the charge sheet where Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi have been in. Thanks so much for that quick update there, Pradeep. We take this up for debate now.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
This takes us across to our guest, Tuhin Sina's national spokesperson of BJP, Sujata Pandey, political analyst, is joining us. With us is Satya Sabarwal, advocate in the National Herald case. Sanjay Jha, author, is with us. Dr. Suban Siraman, political analyst, also with us. Advocate Kapil Madan is also a political analyst, joining us on the show. Let me start with you first. Sanjay Jha, now here's what the ED and the government is saying. They're saying that this entire matter has gone to the courts. The courts which have heard this matter, at no point of time have the courts intervened, and since it has followed the due process and a charge sheet has now been filed, why are you calling this political vendetta?
Madhav, good evening. I want to make just 2 short points. My first point is that you are today talking about the most corrupt government in India's political history. It has zero credibility. Whether it is electoral bonds, Rafale, the Adani scam, demonetization. It's a laundry list of issues, including, of course, the electoral bonds, which is a major scam that we haven't even talked about in detail. Let's not even get into the infrastructure scams that the CAG has exposed. Come down to the case against the Gandhis on National Herald. I have personally been arguing this case for a long time on behalf of the Congress, even before 2014 when Mr. Modi became Prime Minister. Number one, your viewers should know that this case is 12 years old. And if you look at the allegations, even a kindergarten commerce student would have cracked it if there was any substance within 3 weeks. I'm telling you with all confidence, there is absolutely no substance in this case. As and when the ED's charge sheet, the trial starts, this will be another egg on the face of this institution that has become a mammoth joke in this country. Have you seen the ED's conviction rates? It's less than 2%. Read what the Supreme Court had to say about the ED. Its own officers have been accused of corruption. ED has basically become a tool or an instrument of harassment, intimidation, and threats.
But
and
Sanjay, that doesn't take away from the fact that a charge sheet has been filed, and the charges in that charge sheet are pretty serious. There are several aspects, including the fact that properties worth 2,000 crores have been allegedly acquired for a paltry sum of just 50 lakh rupees. How do you defend a charge like that?
Yeah, Madhav, I have argued this case too often. I think the lawyers will do it in the court. But let me just tell you very simply put, that at the end of the day, just for your viewers, because I think your viewers whom I really respect, with the panelists we are usually on powwow and, slugfest, the viewers should know that this is basically a not-for-profit company. It is fully transparent. There are all disclosures on the table. No money has been made by any of the trustees, no matter what percentage share they have. In fact, it was done for only one simple reason, because the old ownership of the National Herald newspaper, Madhav, many of the shareholders had died. It was a prudent financial step to reorganize it under a different entity, which is Section 25 of the Companies Act. We are not going to get technical here, but let me tell you, the BJP, completely intellectually bankrupt, morally absolutely defunct, will use every trick in the bag to keep the pot boiling. And I will only request my friends in the Congress to please do not be lazy. You should take the BJP to court on electoral bonds.
Well, Sanjay, there are many questions I can further ask, but I don't want this to become a monologue between you and me or a dialogue between just the two of us. But let me bring in the BJP. Tuhin Sinha, nothing but vendetta. Sure. Look at what Supreme Court has said as far as the misuse of agencies such as ED is concerned, and just 2 convictions as far as about 192 cases filed against various 193 cases filed against various political leaders over the last several years. Your response to Sanjay Jha, Tuhin.
Well, good evening, Madhav. Good evening, everybody. The National Herald case refers to one of the most shameful episodes in India's political history, where the present-day Gandhi family ceased to operate like political leaders. They started operating like land sharks and land mafia. As you have repeatedly pointed out, that for a mere 50 lakhs to illegally usurp properties, worth around 2,000 crores then and roughly around 5,000 crores now, is, if Sanjay Jha still belittles or trivializes the enormity of the sin, good luck to him. But these, how can, he was arguing that was only to reorganize the entire holding of the company. But how can, then 76% of the shareholding of the new company go in the hands of 2 people? Was it who ratified it? These are very serious questions. And mind you, in 2008, it was the UPA which was in power. How did the National Herald, how did the AGL incur losses to the tune of 90 crore? Because in any case, the only way they would draw revenues was from funding by the state governments. And a majority of the state governments belong to the Congress party. I think, there are serious allegations over here. It was a well-planned move by the Gandhi family to deflate the National Herald completely, so that they could acquire subsequently acquire the 2,000 crores worth of properties then. And, mind you, you can question the validity of ED conviction rate and all of that. But Rahul Gandhi is an out-of-bail politician on this particular case since 2015. And in 2016, when they approached the Supreme Court to quash the whole case, the Supreme Court refused to quash it. They only gave exemption from personal appearance. So I think, the ED over here has a very strong
let me bring in others.
And I think the ED has moved slightly late on this. The action should have taken 2 years ago.
Okay, ED is late. In fact, that's a question that perhaps needs to be answered why the ED is late, but since you have referred to it, and a short while ago, Sumansi Raman, Sanjay Jha referred to the fact that this is all under the section of charity or a charitable institution that all of this has been conducted. But what is the ED saying today in the charge sheet? They are coming out to say that the generation of proceeds of crime was through bogus donations to the tune of 18 crores, fake advance rents of 38 crore rupees, and inflated advertisements of 29 crores. Because this appears to be not charitable transaction, but massive undervaluation and alleged money laundering. Sumansi Raman.
Madhav, I think that the very fact that it has taken the Enforcement Directorate so many years to file a charge sheet is itself, a glaring evidence of how facts are going to play out in this case. Clearly, this is a 13-year-old case from the time that Dr. Subramaniam Swamy actually brought it up for the first time. It is 13 years. The trial is yet to start. The charge sheet is now being filed. I fail to see the logic in this because none of these, first of all, Young Indian is a not-for-profit company. Its accounts are in the public domain. It is audited by the appropriate agencies. So why would it take so many years to file a charge sheet? That itself is more than enough evidence because what was Dr. Swamy and the others saying when they filed this case? This is an open and shut case. Open and shut case. Open and shut case to file a charge sheet takes 13 years. What are we talking about? Okay. So I think that we have to, and one more thing. This kind of constantly putting out stuff, 30 crores was money laundering, 15 crores, that has now become modus operandi of the agencies.
So these are documents filed in the court.
1 minute. Yeah, they can file
it in the court. These are documents filed in the court. It's not that any
yes,
agency has leaked this information. This is there in the part of court proceedings today.
Yes, Madhav, they filed saying Mr. P. Chidambaram has got 30 or 14 properties outside the country. So far, they have not produced evidence of even a single one.
Okay, Satya Sabharwal. Let me bring in Satya Sabharwal. He's an advocate in the National Herald case. Satya Sabharwal, respond to what Sumansi Raman is saying. He says in the past, agencies have made outlandish claims which have not been proven in any case. He's citing the case of Mr. Chidambaram. And also, why has it taken 12 years if this is indeed an open and shut case?
Sir, I'll briefly explain you what has happened here. First of all, I welcome this step of the Enforcement Directorate that they've stepped in. In fact, also, this is not a very late move which has happened. They had moved an application before our court asking for documents also. They had moved an application there. But one point which I would like to bring out here is that under section 19 of the PMLA, there is provision and there's power with the Enforcement Director to arrest. So I see that coming also. There's no political vendetta here. This was filed way before the BJP government came into power. This was filed way before that. There's no basis to it. There's a cognizance taken by the trial court order, challenge in the High Court, dismissed, challenge in the Supreme Court, dismissed. So where is the question of delay? It has been going on for a while. It is at the cross-examination stage. We are introducing certain documents in the trial court. For that, it is pending in the High Court. There's no delay in the matter. I welcome this move of the Enforcement Directorate. We very much welcome it. Secondly, we also have to see this 50 lakhs which Young Indian is paying. Where is this coming from? Read the income tax assessment order. It is coming from a Calcutta-based company called Dotex, known for sham entries.
Okay.
So there is no delay in this matter. In fact, 2019 order of income tax assessment order categorically says that.
Okay. Kapil Badhan, come in on it. Because he says that there is no delay. The case is first of all from the Congress era when the Congress was in power. It's not something that the BJP has started or something that started during the BJP regime, number one. Number two, if the entire case is challenged repeatedly from the trial court to the High Court to the Supreme Court, then the delay is on part of those who are challenging it. The agencies had to take the step after whatever legal clearances were required. Please respond to Mr. Satya Sabharwal.
Madhav, let me say this. I say this with a sense of a lot of responsibility that our opponents here and the learned panelists who just spoke before me from the BJP and Mr. Sabharwal also. I think their understanding of this entire case is completely flawed. and let me just give you, point-wise reasons why I say so. Mr. Sabharwal has pointed that, there is Section 19 which permits the ED to investigate and all. I would just want to remind him about a landmark judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court called Satinder Antil, which categorically says if someone is not arrested during the course of investigation, then he cannot be arrested, at the time of filing of the charge sheet. That's the settled legal position that we have. Now, let me give you an answer of, how ED is responding to this case. Now, as Mr. Sabharwal is here, and he would agree with me that this case was initiated in 2012. ED came into picture in somewhere about 2014 and 2015. They have taken 10 years to investigate this case, and post 10 years, they filed this charge sheet. They will take another 20 years to complete this trial. And during all these while, they will use this as a, political narrative tool to create a mahal against the oppositions to say that, look, there is a case which is pending in the court against, the Gandhis. Now, let me respond to Tuhin here. Let me give a political response to Tuhin. Here, it is not a case where someone has taken out money. It is not a case where, someone has pocketed some money. It is a case, let me tell, and I'm again saying, with utmost humility here, that the people debating here have no understanding of our corporate law. The elementary principle of corporate law is that a shareholder is not the owner of the properties of the company. That's elementary corporate law. And, the learned panelists here are, speaking everything apart from the issue which
so who
is
controls the property,
in
sir?
Question.
Who controls the properties? If not the shareholders, who controls it?
What I said was that the shareholders are not the owner of these properties.
Who controls the properties? That's the question I'm asking you.
Just a minute. In a company, it is the board of directors that take the decision.
He doesn't
of
know.
How the company will be a company will be run. Whatever will be the decision taken by the board, there is a board. So I don't know. I don't know why. Why and what.
So I don't know. I don't know if there is a board currently. Sujata Pandey, would you like to enlighten us? Is there a board in either of these companies, AJL, Young India, and who then is responsible?
Company.
And why then are other individuals like Mr. Suman Dubey and others who've been named, Mr. Sam Petroda? There must be a reason that they have been named. Sujata Pandey, would you like to respond to Kapil Madan, who says that don't assume that those who are shareholders are the owners of the property?
Yes. So first of all, let's go point by point. Okay, so everybody was crying about how many years ED has taken to file the charge sheet. Well, let me remind them that the Jayalalitha's case took 18 years for her to get convicted, and Lalu Prasad case for fraud scam took 20 years. So in nowhere in the constitution, and I'm surprised that the setting are claiming to be the lawyers, nowhere in the law on the Constitution of India mentions that there is a time limit for being convicted. That's number one. Secondly, people spoke about the ED's conviction rate. Well, ED's conviction rate for the other cases might be poor, but for PMLA, it is 93%. So it's a worrying time for Congress. Now, coming to Kapil Madan saying that the shareholders do not control the company. Well, do you know that 76% of the share were controlled by the Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, and rest 24% was done by the Oscar Fernandez and Vora. Oh, please, you don't know anything. You just come here to spread the fake news. I don't know what kind of lawyer you are. Secondly,
Okay, one by one. No personal comments, please. No personal comments. Let's stick to the subject of debate. There's enough to discuss. Yes.
Really clear about that it is not the vendetta politics. Okay, so see, there is no state elections, there is no general election. In both, BJP is scoring high. There are upcoming elections for Bihar where Congress is playing second fiddle. Last time in 2022, when they were called by ED, they called for Satyagraha. In 2023, they lost Gujarat, they lost Goa, they lost Uttarakhand, they lost Punjab, they lost UP. And in this, for what kind of political vendetta Rahul Gandhi is in a position?
No. The point that I want to come in on. The point that I want to come in on. Sumansi Raman, here's the question. Politics part. Suman Siraman, let's come back to the case. And the question is this. They have repeatedly gone to various courts. Courts have not granted any relief. Courts have not quashed the case in any circumstance. And what the Delhi High Court had said in 2015, I'm just repeating, they had said that the modus operandi adopted by the petitioners evidences a criminal intent. And this is, of course, later expunged by the Supreme Court. But can we dismiss these charges? Can we dismiss this observation prima facie?
No, Madhav, before that, I want to correct Sujata Pandey's assertion. I don't know which WhatsApp forward she got this information of 93% conviction rate for ED on PMLA. In the last 5 years, 911, 1 minute.
Not the WhatsApp forward you have read and come here.
In the last 5 years,
so you raise a question on me. This is by a report. This is on the floor of the parliament.
One by one. He's challenging you. All right. I'm going to allow.
Let me read.
Sujata Pandey, you can respond to Suman. Let him make his point. Let him make his point, please. Yes.
Out of 911 cases filed under PMLA until December 2024, only 42, 4.6% resulted in convictions. 257 of them could go on trial, could commence trial in the last 5 years. 654 out of 911 cases of PMLA, or 71.7% of cases, have remained pending, meaning that they have not even gone on trial in the last 5 years. This data was provided by Minister of State for Finance, Pankaj Chaudhary. Now, please go and please ask that lady.
You're challenging her point. I'm going to give her a chance to respond to you. Yes. One second, Sujata Pandey. He says your facts are not in order. This is a parliamentary reply.
Pankaj Chaudhary. See what? Okay, Suman Srinathn quoted a fact from 2022. I'm quoting a fact from 2024 July, where the same Minister of Finance, Pankaj Chaudhary, said that the agency had registered 7,083 cases under PMLA and the 1.4 crores assets have been seized. The rate of conviction obtained under PMLA is around 93%. Total value of proceeds seized under PMLA is 3,726
All right. One parliamentary reply versus another. I don't want to. We're not going to get into this. If you look at the data from different periods of time, it's bound to give you different results in terms of what each person is arguing, and that's going to take away from the larger question of the National Herald debate. So I just want to bring in, Sanjay on one particular aspect. Sanjay, the point that is being made here by the ED is that. Yeah, okay. You have made your point, ma'am. He has made an allegation. You have responded to him. Can we please move on now? I want to bring in a simple question. At the end of the day, Young Indian has been incorporated as a not-for-profit company, as you rightly mentioned, Sanjay Jha. The question that is being made is that when it is incorporated as a not-for-profit company under Section 25 and 76% of the company is owned by Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, doesn't the acquisition of commercially valuable properties, doesn't that raise serious questions? And also, it is a fact that this company that was founded by Jawaharlal Nehru with 5,000 other freedom fighters as its shareholders, we're talking about AJL here, this didn't belong to any particular person. Now, we have a situation where ground reports have shown that in Lucknow, AJL properties were rented to beer and hardware shops. Herald House in Delhi was rented to passport office with higher rental returns. In Patna, land belonging to AJL was taken over by mafia. The bigger question is, what are these properties being used for? Can we still call them charitable purposes?
Absolutely you can, Madhav. Please understand one thing. A not-for-profit company under Section 25 of the Companies Act cannot declare dividends or give bonus or give benefits to its owners in the form of bonus shares or dividend earnings. But the entity has got every right to earn income. I mean, a charitable organization raises funds, doesn't it? You'll find so many NGOs called Bollywood film stars. They hold this big extravaganza. They raise money and then they have to use the money for X purpose. Raising an income, raising revenue, earning rental income, not a crime. You have every legitimate right under law to earn an income. Point number one. And I'm telling you, this is a red herring of the BJP. Besides the multiple scams I have talked about, I haven't mentioned the biggest one. The biggest scam in India that nobody's talking about, Madhav, and I will send you detail about it after the program, is the 2,84,000 crore haircut that Indian banks have taken when they have sold bad assets to certain corporates. Indian banks have taken a
Okay.
84,000
No, please take
crores.
no, the point
because
is
they have sold assets cheap.
It's a free country, sir. Anybody can go
And
to the
these are
courts,
scams
file
that
an official
nobody's talking
complaint. You know, there are the public spirited individuals and lawyers still left in the country who can fight that case. And if there is a case to be made, I'm sure there are those expert lawyers, the Congress also, who will take it up. But there are 2 points you have made. I'm going to go to the technical aspect of it first to Satya Sabharwal and the other political aspect to Tuhin Sinha. Satya Sabharwal, please respond to it. He says that there is no bar on any charitable company earning income, and thereby these rentals are perfectly justified. Your response to Sanjay Jha?
No, sir. I strongly disagree with that. They have dominion over the property. They have their own rental income which is coming. I don't see any charitable activity happening here. So that is completely out of the question. One more thing I would like to respond is that we cannot shy away from the fact the 50 lakh rupees, I again reiterate, the 50 lakh rupees which the young Indian is getting to pay AJL, it is coming. Where is that entry coming from? They have 5 lakh rupees of paid up capital. Where is that 50 lakh rupees coming from? That is coming from sham entries from .x. That is why in one of these news channels they also said .x has also made a party in the charge sheet, in the prosecution complaint which the enforcement director has filed, only for this reason. So the income tax has also noted that, ED has also now noted that.
Sham entries, bogus entries. Coming to Tuhin Sinha, just a minute. Advocate Kapil Madan, respond to that. Why was this company called .x, which has a shady past, as Satya Sabharwal is alleging, why was it used to make these entries in the first place? And there are several points that have been made about fake entries, etc. Can we just dismiss them at face value?
Madhav, it's very easy to say if someone has received or paid any money, you can, very easily say that it's a fictitious entry or it is a fictitious transaction. But let me just say one thing here. What common sense tells us is that if you have suspicion on a particular entry, of course, you will not take 12 years to find out whether this entry is suspicious, bogus, or a genuine. After 12 long years, you come to a conclusion that so-and-so payment has happened 12 years ago, which was fictitious, and you are trying to justify. So let me just say what is happening for our viewers in a very, very simple terms. They have a conclusion in mind, what they want to achieve, and they are trying to, like a jigsaw puzzle, they are trying to fit something here, fit something there, and just trying to justify the conclusion, which is based on a mere fiction and a political narrative.
Okay. It's just to fix the political narrative. Tuhin Sinha, respond to what is being stated by Kapil Madan as well as Sanjay Jha, and also they are repeatedly citing what the Supreme Court has said as far as misuse of agencies are concerned.
I am very disappointed with the attitude of the Congress representatives on your show, who are going all out to defend the enormity of the crime, who are going all out to belittle the kind of manipulation which has taken place. Please remember the way the Gandhi family manipulated the ownership of National Herald in this case through a series of surreptitious maneuvers that has insulted the legacy of freedom fighters who were behind National Herald in the first place. And these two Congress representatives convinced me that this Congress party is incorrigible for the same reason. As Sujata just mentioned, they are talking why 10 years. They seem to be suffering from select amnesia. Most of the cases, including the JMM bribery case, have gone on for 15, 20 years. So by those standards, the ED, like I myself mentioned at the start, the ED should have done it earlier. In fact, that only shows that the ED does not, take dictations from anybody. The ED follows its own timeline. But the point is that 12 years, and mind you, the case started at the time of UPA, is nothing. The case will reach its logical end. And my suspicion is that, like I mentioned, 90 crores debt is no big deal. Congress was at par at the center, and in the states, they could have easily got one of the state governments or a few state governments to cover that debt.
Okay.
The whole thing was planned to make the Gandhis a beneficiary on a very large scale. All right.
We'll have to leave it there. Tuhin Sinha and Sanjay Jha will join us for debate number 2. But I'd like to thank Sujata Pandey, Satya Sabharwal, as well as Suman Sriraman and Advocate Kapil Madan for joining us on the show today.